Armen and Levack, 104.5 The Team, your home for New York sports. UAlbany men's basketball head coach Will Brown with us now on the team. And Coach Brown, you guys have a big game this weekend we're all excited about here in the Capital Region. But first of all, I want to talk about your team. You guys are currently 2-6, but you played some challenging non-league schedule looking, up against Providence, up against UNLV. How have those teams and those games up to this point helped your team as we move towards conference play?
Well, you're very kind. Obviously we're struggling a little bit right now, but I think playing at Providence in front of 10,000 plus people, at UNLV in front of 10,000 plus, I think that helps us heading into the weekend game against Siena, where we'll have a crowd in a great basketball environment. I think, right now we're trying to find ourselves with 9 new players. 5 of our rotation guys are freshmen or sophomores, and our new guys are really trying to understand their roles, embrace their roles. Our biggest issue right now, you can look at it and say, well, you're not scoring a lot of points. The reason why we're not scoring a lot of points is because we're giving up too many baskets. We're not getting enough stops, so we can't get out in transition and get some easy baskets, ourselves. So right now, I think our nose needs to harden a little bit, and our defense really needs to step up, especially on the perimeter. But the good thing is I think we have the pieces in place. It's just that it's going to be a little bit longer of a process with this team than maybe I anticipated.
UAlbany men's basketball coach Will Brown with us on 104.5 The Team. UAlbany Siena Saturday, Times Union Center, 7:30 is the tip-off. And Coach, you mentioned the youth on your team. This rivalry it breathes so much life into the Capital Region every single year. How do you explain to your guys, like a freshman like Greg Steyer, do you talk to them, local kid, do you talk to them about the meaning of this rivalry, what it's going to be like? Do you verbally prepare them at all for this game?
Well, I just tell them how important of a game it is for our fans and our alumni base. I don't want these guys walking on eggshells heading into the game. They get a true sense of this game just during warm-ups. I think some guys get the adrenaline rush just warming up for the game as they see the crowd pile in, and it's a big deal. In this area, obviously Siena wants to win this game badly. We want to win this game badly, but the bottom line is this game's not going to have an impact on Siena's success in the MAC or our success in the America East. I think a kid like Greg Steyer has been around this game for several years, having played against CBA. You had the CBA-Troy rivalry where Troy, Javion Ogiemi from Siena played at Troy, and Greg and Javion had some battles over the years. So, I think Greg understands it. Some of our new guys from halfway across the country might not, understand it, but I think they're learning about it, as we head in and transition to the game, and it's an exciting game and it's a great atmosphere. You just can't get caught up in it too much.
Well, and the vibe around campus and the attention that the students put on it, particularly. I mean, without you saying a word, players have to have some kind of feel for, man, this thing's big. A lot of people are looking at this one.
Yeah, kids are smart.
Yeah.
I think kids are excited, and I know our guys are looking forward to it. There's a buzz about this game. Obviously, the media enjoys the game. It gives them, I think, opportunities and stuff to cover, and it's usually a week-long process leading into the game, and I think both teams right now need a win. I think that makes the game even more interesting. Not that we haven't needed a win in previous years, but I think, I know I can't speak for Jimmy, but, we're struggling a little bit, especially the last 3 games in particular. And, I couldn't think of a better opportunity for us to get back on track. With that being said, I think Siena's very talented. I think they're good, and we're going to have to play well. They've played better basketball than us up to this point, but we need to play well if we're going to win this game.
UAlbany men's basketball head coach Will Brown with us on 104.5 The Team, your home for New York sports. Let's get to Siena as you guys play them Saturday night, 7:30 Times Union Center. Siena's missing their forward Brett Bisping. They have an inexperienced front court. How will you guys exploit that? Can you exploit that?
Well, I mean, I think we have a very good player up front in Sam Rowley, and I'm not going to hide the fact we're going to go to him early and often. I think that's a matchup we can have some success with. But with that being said, all they're doing now is sliding Levon Long down to his true position, which is the power forward spot, and he's a really good player. So I think, that's fine. And Javion basically was a starter last year as a freshman and starting for him this year. So I don't think their front court's inexperienced. I think their front court subs are inexperienced. And I think for us to have success, we need Rowley and Hooley to play well for us, and we need to do a better job defensively. I think they have, in my opinion, and I don't spend all night worrying about the MAC or following the MAC, but I would think that they have potentially, 3 all-MAC caliber players in Rob Poole, and I think Marquise Wright, their point guard, and Levon Long are both playing at a high level, and I think they're talented players. I think last year when the season was winding down, in my opinion, when they went on their CBI run, I thought Brett Bisping was their best player. This year, I think those 3 guys that I mentioned, have played the best for them and are all talented players. So, they have probably a little more experience as far as playing in this game. Even though a lot of those guys were freshmen last year, they still played 30 minutes, in that game. So, I think we're going to have to do a really good job defensively and on the glass if we're going to have success in this game.
UAlbany men's basketball head coach Will Brown with us on 104.5 The Team. And Coach, this game is always played at the Times Union Center. We ever going to see this thing at SEFCU?
Well, I mean, we're probably either the nicest people in the world or the biggest fools in the world because we have gone on the road 10 straight years to play this game. It's their home court. You can't spin it any other way, and they control everything. So my whole thing is, I would like to see it played in the SEFCU Arena every other year, a true home and home. If you're going to play Vermont in the America East Conference and go to Vermont and play, you might as well play Albany in the America East Conference at the SEFCU Arena. I mean, Duke, Carolina goes to Duke, and that's 9,000. So there's a lot of people down the street from Duke. Carolina fans can't get into that game. So it's one of those things that I think it's easy to say it's the community game. It's a community game. It has to be played at Times Union Center. I get that, but let's not lose the fact that it's Siena's home court. If you tell me you don't want to play in the SEFCU Arena, let's go play at the Glen Falls Civic Center. It's just, that's what people don't realize. There's nothing like this in the history of college basketball. Name me one team that's gone to another team's home court and played 10 consecutive years and never gotten a return game out of it. It's just not there. And with that being said, they need us on their schedule because if the only team that could potentially replace us and equal the draw, and I say potentially, is Syracuse. And if Syracuse comes to UCenna, Siena's going to have to go there at least 2 times, maybe 3 times. So a 2 or a 3 for a 1. Bring in Boston College, St. John's, Rutgers, Seton Hall, UMass. You're not even coming close to hitting 10,000. So, I get it. I want to play the game every year, but I also just want it to be fair and equitable.
So where's this process at, Coach? Where is the ball rolling on this? Is your voice being heard? Is this a realistic possibility?
We have a new athletic director in place, right, and I believe he and I are completely on the same page, and I don't think what we're asking for is unrealistic, but I think we're in the preliminary stages of this, and I think once the game is done on Saturday night, win or lose, my tune's not going to change. I've been up front. Obviously, Albany fans like what I have to say. Siena fans think I'm whining, and they don't understand it. But I think if the shoe, if it was turned around, I think they'd probably have a problem with it. I don't think Siena would ever agree to play in the SEFCU Arena, and that's a shame.
He's best, man. Love him. UAlbany men's basketball head coach Will Brown. Coach, always good talking to you. Have fun this weekend on Saturday night, all right?
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on the show.